Good evening, everybody. Start our timer. Welcome, my name is Andrew Roblyer. I am a producer and director based out of Houston, Texas. This is my first time in Indiana or Indianapolis, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for coming out on a Tuesday evening. We are glad to have you here. Come on up. Two orders of business that we're going to take care of before I tell you a little bit more about the show. And the first one is I want to let these two actors behind me introduce themselves to you because they have agreed to be here tonight having no idea what scene they're about to do. So I want to give them a chance to introduce themselves, and then we'll get to our next business.
Hi, I'm Alaine Sims. If you love this one so much, you can come back and see me at 12:30 on Saturday in another director's cut. And then I'm also in a production with American Lives Theater at the Phoenix Theater Cultural Center right now called Aspen Ideas. And we run this weekend, which I know is during Fringe, and also next weekend. So come out and see that show. Awesome.
I'm Doug Powers. The next time I'm going to be on stage is not any more of these, but in Crucible with South Bank. That'll be at the Shelton. October 23rd, I think, is when we open, something like that. Yes, right.
Ask the director.
Yes, we can just ask him. Yes, the 23rd of October. That's the next thing I'm doing on stage.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all very much. All right, so the next order of business is that we need your help to pick the scene that we are going to work on tonight. So I have prepared 3 possible pieces of text for our 2 actors. And I'm going to give you 3 descriptive words about each of them. That's it. I'm not going to tell you what they are or what they're from. And I'm going to give you 3 descriptive words about each of them, and then I'm going to ask you to vote by sound of applause which one you would like to see as an audience. So our first option, your 3 words are relationship, perspective, and history. All right. Your second option is love, loss, and memory. And your third option is defiance, family, and burial. All right, so who would like to see scene number 1 by round of applause, please? All right, probably not going to be scene number 1, but thank you for voting. Feel free to vote on one of the other 2. What about scene number 2? All right, and scene number 3. Well, this is going to be fun because we are going to do a scene from Antigone.
All right.
Have you read Creon? I'm going to have you read Antigone.
Sure.
And you can both take a moment to look over the scene while the audience and I chat. So, I want to tell you a little bit more about what you're about to see tonight and the why behind this show. So, I started in theater when I was 6 years old. I was cast in a church musical called Journey to the Center of Christmas. It was, it was a Star Trek parody. Did not realize that at the time. And I was cast as the only adult character in the show, Professor J. Ingle Bell. Yes. But I was also the shortest child on stage. And that's when I learned that in theater you can be anything you want to be. Growing up, I fell in love with it so much that I would get this ache in my soul if it had been too long between shows. And in college, I got a chance to fall in love with theater all over again, this time from the perspective of being a director. Now, I moved into directing not because I wanted control over the process, but because I was really passionate about being in a position where I could help support everyone that was involved in a production, in creating this beautiful thing that I love called theater. And when I fall in love with something like directing, my type A nerdy brain loves to learn everything that I can about it. And that's when I learned very quickly that there is no clear path for directors in American theater. There's no real training, no real map. Most directors learn to direct by doing it and just hoping that we don't break something or someone along the way. Because here's the thing, a director sets the emotional tone of a production. In the corporate world, studies show that your manager is one of the top factors in whether you thrive or burn out in the workplace. And it's no different in theater. The director is the culture setter, the emotional thermostat, the person who decides what matters. But most directors, especially in what I call upstream theater or community and educational theater spaces, are just thrown into the deep end. At a low estimate, there are 30,000 directors working in those spaces every year. And again, no training, minimal mentorship, no support, just vibes. And the weight that is placed on their shoulders is immense. They are told that their vision is what makes a show sink or swim. And on top of that, there's this implicit understanding that they are training the next generation of downstream artists, the ones who will move downstream to Broadway and professional spaces. Because nobody starts downstream. We all start upstream and flow downstream. And then we wonder why theater spaces can be unclear, tense, or toxic. It's not because directors don't care, it's because the system never taught them how. That's why I built Deconstructing Directing, which is also the name of the company that brings you today's show. It is a 100% free online resource library for directors. It explores topics that most directors I know never had a chance to talk to anyone about. Facilitation skills, imposter syndrome, power dynamics, regulating our own emotions, and letting go of fear-based, authority-driven models of directing that have held our field hostage for far too long. It's a resource unlike any other in existence for directors, and you can check it out for yourself on the QR code that is on the half sheet of paper you got when you sat down. Director's Cut, the show you're here to see, is my attempt to put at least some of that work into a performance. I know that the marketing makes this feel like a cool, edgy experiment, and it is, but it's also more than that. It's a chance to take a peek into something that theater doesn't usually show us, how at least part of directing actually works. And it's my love letter to every director who's ever been told to just figure it out. So tonight, I'll be building this scene from scratch with these two fantastic actors right in front of you. No prep, no second chances. You'll probably see me stumble, chase moments, make some hard choices, not because I think I have all the answers, but because I believe that directing deserves to be seen, valued, shared. Because when we give directors the tools and space to grow, we create better theater, safer rooms, stronger stories, braver choices. And that benefits all of us. So, are you excited to see the show tonight?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to invite the actors to come on back up to the stage. And as they do so, I'm going to kind of explain the next steps that we are going to go through. So normally, when we would start the process with a full play, be careful, don't die. That's a big part of what directors do, is just making sure actors don't die.
Yeah.
You think I'm kidding.
No.
So, what we usually start with is something called a table read or a reading. Now, we do not have a table up here today because we are doing a performance, so I'm going to ask the actors to read this for the first time on their feet. The point of a table read, though, is not to get everything right. It's not about perfection. It's not about nailing it. It's about trying things, and more importantly, hearing the text out loud. This is especially important for stylized and historical texts like Greek tragedy, like we're about to do, or Shakespeare, something like that. But really, it's true for any text, because it's often the first time the director and the whole cast is hearing the entire play read out loud by the actors that are going to be playing these parts. And that can tell us a lot as directors and artists involved in this process. So we're going to invite the actors to read through this for the first time. Take a moment to listen to the language, but also pay attention to this first read-through, because I want you to be able to compare the final run of this scene that we're going to do today to what you see now. So with that, I'm going to invite the actors. I'm going to move my chairs so I don't block our audience members, but I'm going to invite you all to go ahead and read through this scene from Antigone.
You with your head hung down to the earth. Do you admit this, or do you deny it?
I say that I did it, and I do not deny it.
Now, girl, speak to the point. Were you aware of my decree?
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it? It was well known to all.
And yet you dared disobey this law.
Yes, for Zeus did not make this decree, and Dike, goddess of justice, did not ordain such a law for mortal men. I didn't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods. For they live not today or yesterday, but for all time, and no one knows how long ago they were revealed. I was not about to pay the gods' price, for fear of one man's arrogance. I knew very well that I would die one day. How could I not? Even if you had not made your decree, it would still be so. But if I die before my time, I count it as a gain. When someone lives among as many evils as I do, how could they not live better in death? It won't be painful at all for me to meet this fate, but if I had allowed the son of my own mother to die and remain unburied, that would have tortured me. But this is nothing. Am I the fool? Or is it the fool that accuses me of folly?
This girl knew full well how to commit a crime, and she has transgressed the law that I have established. She's committed a second outrage by being proud of what she's done and laughing with self-congratulation. Now either I'm no man or she's become one, if she's to win such a victory without any retribution. I don't care that she's my sister's child, and even if she were closer to me than my own wife or son, she and her sister will never avoid this horrible fate. I think her sister holds an equal share of the blame for plotting this burial. Go, summon her, for I see her now, raving about in there like she's lost her mind when someone's concocting a villainous scheme. Their mind will often betray their guilt before the act is done. I hate it too when a criminal who's been caught tries to glorify their crime.
What more do you want than my death?
Nothing. Once I have that, I'll have everything.
Why then do you delay? Nothing you say pleases me, and I hope it never does, and nothing I do pleases you. What greater glory could I have gained in placing my own brother in his grave? You could tell that everyone here is happy to hear this, if fear did not shut their mouths, but tyranny has many blessings. In particular, it can do and say whatever it wants.
You're the only one in Thebes who sees things.
They all see it, but they hold their tongues for you.
Wouldn't you be ashamed if they disagreed with you?
There's no shame in respecting one's own flesh and blood.
Didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood?
A brother from the same mother and the same father.
Then how can you heap praises on someone so godless?
The dead man would not agree with that.
You honor him with equal fervor, you disgrace Antigone.
It was his brother, not some slave who perished.
One ravaged this land, the other died defending it.
Nevertheless, Haiti demands these rights.
But this man, good for nothing but evil, wants equal honor.
Who knows what the gods consider holy?
Your enemy's never your friend, not even when he's dead.
I was born to join in love, not in hate.
Why don't you love them when you're down there yourself, if you must love them? As long as I live, no woman shall rule me.
See. Let's give him a round of applause. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, so the next phase of the process is that we're going to move into what, again, we would call table work. Again, sans table today. But this is an opportunity for us to make sure that we're all on the same page about what the story is about, right? And that we understand why we're telling this story as a collective, as a company. So first, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of like what has happened prior to this scene. So in the story of Antigone, and the original play by Sophocles, Antigone's brothers were on two sides of essentially a civil war. And the winning side was the one that Creon, yes, was in charge of. And so both brothers, Polynices and Antigone, died. But he basically demanded that the one that was opposite his side not be buried, which was a big deal at that point in Greece, because it meant that he couldn't be taken on to the afterlife. It meant that it was like kind of a public shame upon him and his family. People could go and watch the birds and the creatures devour his corpse, right? There were a lot of things tied up in that. And Antigone decides that she is not going to allow that to stand, that she is going to go and bury her brother, even though she has been told that Creon has declared it against the law, right? This is not sounding at all like anything that's going on right now. Yeah? Okay. So the other thing that we need to know that isn't apparent in this text is that you are betrothed to his son, currently. So not only are you his niece, but you're also his like potential daughter-in-law, right? So there's a double whammy in terms of this relationship that's happening here.
It's all fun in the end. Well, that doesn't matter for this.
So, I want to start by asking Antigone. When you come into this scene, you are brought to Creon, right? You are there is someone that has dragged you before Creon and said this woman is guilty.
Yes.
What do you want from Creon in this scene?
I mean, I don't want him to admit I'd love for him to admit he's wrong.
Okay.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
You know.
So what do you like? Let me ask this: is what you want in this scene from Creon? Okay, so who do you want something from in this scene?
The people.
Ah, that's really interesting. Okay, cool. What do you want from the people?
To see that he's a tyrant, to...
Cool. So I'm going to ask a question then to follow up on that and say, what would that look like? The people that are gathered in the court, if you got what you wanted and they saw that, what would that look and sound like?
It would sound like support for me, right? Like as I'm speaking.
So verbal, like affirmation.
Yes.
Okay, great. Anything else?
They might turn in kind and do what I did. Like if I'm one person, but there are many people, more common people than there are royal people, so if they took and helped their family burials the same way, then...
Great. Yeah. Cool. Let's flip the script to Creon. What do you want in this scene, and who do you want it from?
I think partly I would like an explanation why.
Okay. Yep, that's fair.
And the other thing is I need to make sure that my authority is confirmed.
Yeah, can't be weak.
So we want an explanation from Antigone, but then it sounds like then that authority is more what you want from the people that are here. Okay, cool. So that creates a really interesting moment, right, for the two of you, because this interaction is double-faced, right? There's the interaction that's happening between the two of you, but there's the interaction that's happening between each of you and the crowd that you are trying to convince, yeah? Okay, great. So one of the reasons that I ask these questions of actors when we start a process is because I don't want to necessarily come in and say, like, here's what I think, right off the bat. And the reason that I don't do that is because I want to know where their instincts initially take them. One, it may be different from the way that I initially saw the text, and that can be informative, right? It can teach me something about the text, and it allows me as a director to make sure that I'm not, like, super focused on something and missing something else in the text. But the other thing is that by helping actors, and this works for designers as well, helping folks kind of come to their own realizations about the text, it's going to stick with them more, right? And I'm going to be able to help shape the scene a lot more. I think of the role of a director in a lot of ways as being a curator more than anything else, right? My job is to kind of take the amazing talent and skill that these individual artists have on their own and then figure out how to shape that together. I had a mentor once that told me that they call the actor the director of their character, whereas the director is the curator of the show. And so that's kind of how I approach it, is I'm like, I want to know what your instincts are, where that comes from. And if we have a disagreement, then we can address that. But in this case, I don't think we do. So the next question I'm going to ask for both of you is, why tell this story? What value to you? And there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not digging for anything in particular. But what value to you does this story bring?
I mean, I think it's always important to, like, you don't want to necessarily bend with the wind, and just like you have to have your own morals, and there is an absolute right and wrong, right?
Absolutely.
Stand by your own code.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. I think yes, it's the tension between what is legal and what is right.
Yeah. Again, not at all current. So there's another layer that I want to offer, and that is there is the gender at play here is also really important, right? That, like, we have a woman who, because they're in the earlier scene between Ismene, her sister, and Antigone, Ismene declines to help bury their brother because she says, we're just women, we can't stand up to men, right? So there is this duality within Greek culture at the time where, again, it's very similar to conversations we're having now, right? Where women are seen as less powerful just by their nature. And so a woman choosing to do this, right, is even a bigger deal than a man choosing to do this to Greek. So I think all of those work together to tell that story, to tell this story. And having a common goal in mind helps to shift the directorial vision to a company vision, right? So I bring in the initial I picked the scene for these two as one of the options because I thought it would be a good scene for them. But now we collectively have an objective. That's something we're working towards. All right, so now we're going to think about staging, and we're going to start working the scene. I'm going to give Creon a throne.
Makes sense.
Sure. We're gonna actually leave it right here. Yep. So one of the things I think about directorially is I think about the visual composition of the story that you all are about to experience as an audience, right? So we have a smaller stage, which in this instance is not actually that big of a deal. But the reason that I'm going to put Creon upstage right, one is so that we don't upstage Antigone, meaning that if we were to put his throne downstage and then have Antigone behind him, you wouldn't be able to see her half the time. It's not very helpful visually. There's also something that allows us to get maximum distance between the two of them, and you'll see me play with that here in just a minute. But that's, as I was hearing them read, I was thinking about, okay, how are we going to tell this story physically in the space? All right, so I'm going to step down so that you can use this space, Alaine. But I want to imagine we're going to start you right here, and we're going to imagine like they're not going to let you stand. So are you comfortable being on your knees?
Totally. I thought I would be.
Okay,
and we're
great.
talking about my head hung down to the earth. Yeah, that's what I.
But I'm actually going to invite you to turn. Yeah. So even though we have a couple audience members here, so I'll be mindful of your cheating in a moment.
You want me to turn more?
But yeah, that's great. Okay. So we're going to start with this dynamic, and as we start through the scene, we're basically going to go through. Let's go. I want to go through Antigone, the first section of your monologue here, through revealed.
Gotcha.
And we're just going to run this section. So as we start to do this work, I'm going to start to move us through the text beat by beat. So I'm looking for kind of sections of text that tell a particular part of the story before things shift. This isn't quite the definition of a beat that we're working right here, but there's something in particular I want to look at, and that is, I want to know if and or when you feel the impulse to stand. That's the big question for me, because at some point in here I think you're gonna, but I could be wrong. So I want to see where that impulse comes for you. I'm also curious if and or when you feel the impulse to stand. And so impulses, right, when I'm working with actors is really about like what, as they are embodying this character, they are going to be drawn to do certain things, to move in certain ways. Oftentimes we're going to see impulses in shoulders, hands, or feet. So you'll see me kind of looking for little tells that actors will give where I can tell that they want to move, but they're not letting themselves, or they think they shouldn't right there. And those are really good clues that help me kind of dial in what their natural instincts are with the character, and then help adjust that. So you'll see that there. All right, so let's go ahead and start again with Creon's line. Top of the scene.
Is it okay if, so I feel like maybe they just threw me down? Can I be like,
absolutely,
and come up?
Totally.
Cool, thanks.
You with your head hung down to the earth. Do you admit to this, or do you deny it?
I said I did it, and I do not deny it.
Now, girls, speak to the point. Were you aware of my decree?
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it? It was well known to all.
And yet you dared to disobey this law.
Yes! For Zeus did not make this decree, and Dike, god of justice, did not ordain such a law for mortal men. I didn't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods.
Cool, let's pause right there. So I think that's a really powerful stand moment. I thought that was a cool reaction from Doug as well. I want to touch on a couple of points in the earlier lines before we get back to this stand moment. So Creon, you have an interesting response to Antigone's first line. You ask her a point-blank question. Do you admit to this or do you deny it? And then she says, she answers you, right? Mm-hmm. But then you say, now girl, speak to the point, right?
Ah, yeah.
So why are you asking the question a different way?
Because it's less important that she did it. Mm-hmm. It's more important, was she aware that I told her, that I decreed no one should? Is she, in other words, the actual burial is less important than her defiance of me.
Okay, I think that's really powerful. Can we run those first three lines again? And I'm going to invite you to like take a beat after Antigone says I do not deny it, to like make the decision that that's not the point, right? Because remember, like, she's technically family and everyone knows it.
Right.
Right? So this has optics for Creon, right? So these are intentionally chosen words for him, I think. So let's try that again from the start.
Sure.
You, You with your head hung down to the earth. Do you admit to this, or do you deny it?
I say that I did it, and I do not deny it.
Now, girl, speak to the point. Were you aware of my decree?
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it? It was well known to all.
And yet you dared to defy this law.
Cool. I'm going to pause there. I wonder if that's really a stand more than a
Okay,
meme.
yep.
I think that that's a stand because, again, like, the optics here are that you need her to give in, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the goal here. I think at the top of the scene is like, put her in her place. She says she was wrong. Great, we can move on, right?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
and
you're gonna die anyway.
so I wonder then this. I say that I did it and I do not deny it. I wonder if and do not deny it is more intentional than I did it, right? I wonder if like I say that I did it and then you make the choice to like emphasize it.
Yeah.
I wonder what that looks like or sounds like. Can we try that again from the top?
You with your head hung down to the earth. Do you admit to this, or do you deny it?
I say that I did it, and I do not deny it.
Thanks. Yes.
Now, girl, speak to the point.
Stand on that. Stand on that.
Oh, you had me standing in line later.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
You did.
My bad.
I can do it now.
No. You're good.
Now, girl, speak to the point. Were you aware of my decree?
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it? It was well known to all.
And yet you dare to disobey this order.
Yes! Is it too
Yeah.
for me to stand right after you?
No, I think it makes sense, but I do want to touch on this trio that you have in this line.
Yep.
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it?
Right.
What is that line doing? Why say those words?
Well, I think I'm calling him out. Like,
So call him out.
Sure.
Lean into that choice more.
Right.
Right? And then that, like, it was well known to all, that's a double call out. Right? It, like, you could stop after any of those sentences.
Sure.
You don't, though.
Yeah.
Right? You go all three of them.
Sure.
And so that, by the time it was well known to all, I think that like, you can jump on that cue, like,
Yep. Because
Right?
it's the performative part of
Yes.
it for these two characters.
Yeah.
In front of court. Yeah, absolutely.
when she stands, give me some sort of response from Creon. I don't know what that looks like, but follow whatever impulse you have in that moment when she stands. Cool. Can we try this?
I'm the stander. You're not.
Great. Can we try this from the top one more time and then
Sure.
move on?
Yep.
You with your head hung down to the earth. Do you admit to this, or do you deny it?
I say that I did it, and I do not deny it.
Now, girl, speak to the point. Were you aware of my decree?
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it? It was well known to all.
And yet you dared to disobey this law.
Yes! For Zeus did not make this decree, and Dike, god of justice, did not ordain such a law for mortal men. I didn't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods.
Cool.
Were they?
Pause there. That's a cool turn.
Yeah.
The moment she turns this, it's on. Right? Because it's very clear that it's no longer about you. Now she's trying to rouse the rabble. Right? She's making a play. Cool? All right. I think you can follow your impulse even further and get even more in his face.
Sure.
He's king, but he's also father-in-law, right? Possible father-in-law.
Well, and I'm doubling down. I didn't take the olive branch he gave me.
Exactly.
He's gonna come.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So like I think you can get in his face,
Sure.
and that way, then when you turn, right, like you are
Right.
you are denying him the fight
Sure.
by turning there. Right? Because I had a teacher in college that called this fuck or fight distance. Right? When you get that close, you're either gonna fuck or you're gonna fight, kind of thing. Right? And so like get within fuck or fight distance and then deny him the fight. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Can we go from, and you dared to disobey the law, please?
And yet you dared to disobey this law.
Yes, for Zeus did not make this decree, and Dike, goddess of justice, did not ordain such a law for mortal men. I didn't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods. For they live not today or yesterday, but for all time, and no one knows how long ago they were revealed. Keep going?
Yes. Well, let's pause right there. There's 3 words I want to look at. You are making a comparison between him and Zeus, first of all.
Sure.
Right? So I think Zeus is a really important word. The other word that I think is important is justice. So however you want to emphasize those, don't run right past those.
Gotcha.
Those are spit in his face moments, right? I think that turn it and take it all the way down stage.
Immediately.
Like
Okay.
immediately down stage center, like you are getting away from him.
Sure.
I was not about to pay the god's price, right? Let's let that, see if that carries you back down to this corner so that you can then turn up to him again from a distance. If that doesn't work, we'll play with it. But let's just go from, let's do the same place. You dare to disobey the Lord. Sorry, y'all.
Sure. No, fine. Yep.
We're spending a lot of time on the beginning of this because once we get the beginning of this set, the dominoes fall much more quickly. All right.
Could you maybe give me it was well known to all?
Sure.
It was well known to all.
And yet you dared to disobey this law.
Yes, for Zeus did not make this decree, and Dike, goddess of justice, did not ordain such a law for mortal men. I didn't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods. For they live not today or yesterday, but for all time, and no one knows how long ago they were revealed. I was not about to pay the god's price for fear of one man's arrogance. I knew very well that I would die one day. How could I not? But if I died before my even if you had not made your decree, it would be so.
I'm going to pause you here for just a second.
Thank you.
I'm going to invite you to slow it.
Yes.
Take your time on this.
Yep.
You don't, I get the pressure that you're feeling. That's great. Let the pressure, because she's probably been thinking a little bit about this, but she hasn't practiced it necessarily, right? So let the thoughts come.
Okay.
And I love the emphasis on one man's arrogance. He's a man, not a god. Right? That's really important. Cool. Can we just go from I did not think your decrees. I didn't think your decrees.
Yeah.
You take your time.
I didn't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods. For they live not today or yesterday, but for all time, and no one knows how long ago they were revealed. I was not about to pay God's price for fear of one man's arrogance. I knew very well that I would die one day. How could I not? Even if you had not made your decree, it would still be so. But if I die before my time, I count that as a gain. When someone lives among as many evils as I do, how could they not live better?
Cool. I'm going to pause you here. Doug, do you feel any impulse to interrupt her?
Yeah.
If not, that's
I do wonder why he lets her prattle on so long.
yeah.
Right?
So I'm wondering once she gets here, I'm wondering what happens if we take a nice, slow cross to pin her into this corner.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because I'm thinking about optics, and I'm thinking about like the distance that we've set up here between the two of you serves her right now. But you closing the distance and pinning her in, I think will actually give you a space to she can prattle on, but they're watching the king walk up behind her.
Right.
Cool. So can we go from I was not about to pay the god's price, because I think that's about the time that cross is going to start, but take your time on it with nice slow steps.
I was not about to pay the god's price for fear of one man's arrogance. I knew very well that I would die one day. How could I not? Even if you had not made your decree, it would still be so. But if I die before my time, I count it as a gain. When someone lives among as many evils as I do, how could they not live better in death? It won't be painful at all for me to meet this fate, But if I had allowed the son of my own mother to die and remain unburied, that would have tortured me. But this is nothing. Am I the fool? Or is it the fool that accuses me of folly?
Cool. If she does that, hand on wrist, right? So,
Yep.
just real quick, I'm sure you know this, but like, don't actually grab, tense the forearm, let her control it. But I think the moment she touches you, like, grab the wrist, and that actually works really well because I was going to have you force her down to kneel again.
Okay.
And I think if you take that arm, you can, Alaine, if you'll like wrench the arm down and let that pull you down to your knees. So let's go just that end right there. It won't be painful at all for me to meet.
Sure. It won't be painful at all for me to meet this fate. But if I had allowed the son of my own mother to die and remain unburied, that would have tortured me. But this is nothing. Am I the fool? Or is it the fool who accuses me of folly?
Pull her down, pull her down.
This girl.
No, wait until she's down. There, now.
This girl knew full well how to commit a crime. And she has transgressed the law that I established.
Cool. I'm wondering if you don't leave here.
Okay.
How would you feel about a hand on your head?
Okay.
So, claw the hand, so you don't actually grab her hair, but just scrunch.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And let's pull her head back.
Okay.
This girl. Right?
Okay.
This girl, boom, 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 out. Right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
We go from Am I the Fool?
Yep.
And watch your knees. I'm sorry I have you down on your knees so
That's
much without knee pads. So
It's not like I have bad knees.
okay, well, please be careful.
That's okay.
All right.
Am I the fool? Or is it the fool that accuses me of folly?
Hold down. Nice.
This girl knew full well how to commit a crime. And she has transgressed the law that I established. But she's committed a second outrage by being proud of what she's done and laughing with self-congratulation. Now either I'm no man, or she's become one. If she's to win such a victory without any retribution.
Well, now you can like lower head. Yeah, keep going.
I don't care that she's my sister's child. And even if she were closer to me than my own wife or son, she and her sister will never avoid this horrible fate.
Cool. Pause there. Sister is new. Sister's a new tactic.
Right.
Yes. Sister's new.
Yep.
This is that classic, oh, you don't care if you die? Fine, I'll threaten someone you care about.
Got it.
Right?
Yep.
That's like, sister is so intentional here.
Yep.
And I actually marked it as we were reading this, like this next bit where you're like, your sister holds an equal share. That is 100% a threat to her.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So like, I would love to see you like direct that straight at her.
Okay.
Right? Like, I think her
Yep.
sister holds an equal share, and if you feel the impulse to like
Yep.
stare her down and walk toward her as you like,
Yep.
love.
Okay.
Cool. Let's go. I don't care. She's my sister's child.
Okay. I don't care if she's my sister's child. And even if she were closer to me than my own wife or son, she and her sister will never avoid this horrible fate. I think her sister holds an equal share of the blame for plotting this burial. Go, summon her, for I see her now raving about in there like she's lost her mind. When someone's concocting a villainous scheme, the mind will often betray their guilt before the act is done. I hate it too when a criminal who's been caught tries to glorify their crime.
What more do you want than my death?
Nothing. Once I have that, I'll have everything.
Why then do you delay? Nothing you say pleases me, and I hope it never does. And nothing I do pleases you. What greater glory could I have gained?
Cool. Let's pause there. I wonder. This is more physical than I was expecting.
Sure.
I did not plan that tonight.
I thought about grabbing him. What do you want with my desk?
So, I think grab his arm and put his hand around your throat.
Awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
challenge him to kill you right now in
Yep.
front of everyone.
Just me.
Yeah.
Just me, please.
Yeah. Like up the challenge
Yeah.
to him. Grab his hand and put it to your throat. And I would hold it there, and I think you can you can maybe try and pull once, but then at a certain point you're gonna yank it, I think.
Yeah.
So why then do you delay? Why then do you delay? Boom! Here, nothing you say pleases me. Nothing I say pleases you, or whatever it is. I hope it never does. Nothing I do pleases you. Right? That's here, and I think that's probably the yank.
So I'm grabbing him on what more do you want with my death, or why then do you delay?
Why then do you delay?
Okay, got it.
Yeah, because I think that's what you're saying. Is you're
Sure,
saying, fine,
kill me
kill me now.
Yeah.
Choke me out in front of me.
Cool.
Cool. Let's try. From what more do you want than my death?
Not going to be looking this much. Okay.
I'll feed you lines if you need it.
What more do you want than my death?
Nothing. Once I have that, I've had everything.
Why then do you delay? Nothing you say pleases me, and I hope it never does. And nothing I do pleases you. What greater glory could I have gained than placing my own brother in his grave? You could tell that everyone here is happy to hear this, if fear did not shut their mouths. But tyranny has many blessings. In particular, it can do and say whatever it wants.
Yes.
You're the only one in Thebes who feels this way.
Cool. I think you can take that impulse back to your throne.
Okay.
Because now the power move is, I'm good. I got the throne.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I think I love that impulse. So just let it carry you back instead of just
Excellent.
stay put.
Okay.
Cool. Can we go in tyranny has many blessings?
But tyranny has many blessings. In particular, it can do and say whatever it wants.
You're the only one in Thebes who sees things this way.
Dancer.
They all see it, but they hold their tongues from you.
Wouldn't you be ashamed if they disagreed with you?
There is no shame in respecting one's own flesh and blood.
Didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood?
A brother from the
I'm going to
sea.
pause this because I actually don't know if the stand works.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm wondering if you collapse further. I'm wondering if instead of standing.
I'm sad. Yeah.
Well, but it's not about sadness.
Sure.
I think it's more about resignation.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Right? I think it's more about and there's grief.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to we'll touch on in a second. Is that there's a layer of grief here that I want to invite you to find.
Sure.
Antigone. That you have the power is so
Defiance.
clear.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering where we see the chinks in the armor.
Sure.
This is something I talk a lot about. Yeah, this is something I talk a lot about with actors, is that a lot of times we play characters and sometimes we get they're too one-dimensional, right? And so part of my job as a director is to find opportunities to show the audience the chink in the armor, right? Or the little glimpse of decision points or choices that are made. Because part of the job of a director is to be the audience surrogate in rehearsals, right? To be the person that is kind of putting themselves in the position of the audience, trying to forget the things that I know that we worked on in rehearsal, and imagine, okay, if someone's seeing this for the first time, what are they going to pick up? What are the things that are going to be beneficial to them? And so even though all of this work that we've done about these characters would never be visible to an audience, you'd never know about some of the conversations we've had, you'll be able to tell when the results of those conversations. All right. So, yeah, I just wonder if
Yep. That makes perfect sense.
yeah. So let's try just from they all see it right there.
Yep.
And I'm going to invite you, Antigone. I don't think you need to look at him
Nope.
for the rest of this scene.
I don't want to.
Cool.
Why would I? Okay. Can you feed me?
Yes.
You're the only.
You're the only one who beeps.
You're the only one in Thebes who sees things this way.
They all see it.
but they hold their tongues for you.
Wouldn't you be ashamed if they disagreed with you?
There's no shame in respecting one's own flesh and blood.
Didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood?
A brother from the same mother and the same father, yes.
Then how can you heap praise on one so godless?
The dead man would not agree with that.
Well,
If you
pause right here. This is interesting because you have her where you want her. She is collapsed, right? She's not standing again, right? Like it's very clear physically that's happening. This question, didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood? Why ask that question? What does that question do for Creon?
I think there are a lot of families out there in this situation, and I need to reinforce it for them.
Yeah. And these questions are not to her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where he's...
Yeah. And so even though we just had you sit, if you feel the impulse at any point to stand or to cross back to the crowd, take it.
Okay.
Can we go same place? Sorry, from You're the Only One in Thebes who sees things.
You're the only one in Thebes who sees things this way.
They all see it, but they hold their tongues for you.
Wouldn't you be ashamed if they disagreed with you?
There's no shame in respecting one's own flesh and blood.
Didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood?
A brother from the same mother and same father. Yes.
Then how can you heap praise on one so godless?
The dead man would not agree with that.
If you honor him with equal fervor, you disgrace Ateocles.
It was his brother, not some slave that perished.
One ravaged this land. The other died defending it.
Nevertheless, Hades demands these rights.
But this man, good for nothing but evil, wants equal honor.
Who knows what the gods consider holy?
Your enemy is never your friend, even when he's dead.
I was born to join in love, not in hate.
Cool, cross her off.
Yeah. Why don't you love them when you're down there yourself, if you must love them? As long as I live, no woman shall ever rule me.
Cool. I think this final line is to her.
Okay.
Because this, what you are saying, right? You're saying, why don't you love them while you're in Hades with them?
Right.
Right? So, this is like, you've made your case, and now you are reminding her, like, you're finished, right? So that cross that you had earlier, that really slow, lovely, oh my God, so creepy cross, let's see that again with that line, like eyes on her the whole time. And I would love for the final stage picture to be you profile staring down at her for no woman shall rule me, right?
I almost want to do this.
Let's do it. Let's see what that looks like. And you choose whether or not you engage or not. Okay. Can we just go for I was born playing in love, not hate?
Sure.
There's this really lovely picture of the two of you going back and forth with like your pleas to the crowd here. That's really nice. All right.
Sure.
Me.
I was born to join in love, not hate.
Why don't you love them when you're down there yourself? If you must love them. As long as I live, no woman shall rule me.
See? All right. Yeah. I like that choice. I think that's a strong choice.
It's okay.
All right.
Look at myself. It's fine.
So, I would like you to think about, take a second, stretch your knees. I'd like you to think for a minute about Polynices, the brother that you buried. Yes. Are you someone who sees pictures in your head? Okay. Create a picture of him.
Ooh, I had a little brother.
Don't use your little brother.
I won't.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's fine. But here's your little brother. This is actually something, this is one of the things that is really important about training directors, and the fact that a lot of directors that don't have training don't understand the psychological damage that can happen when we rely on emotional memory too closely as actors. And so, but again, a lot of directors just don't know any different, right? They've seen the way that people have pulled emotion out of actors in the past, or they hear stories about how directors, say, oh yes, focus on your little brother's face, et cetera, right? And so this is one of the things that we can train directors about, is helping people understand not to necessarily do that, right? We can do what's called substitution, which is where we find something similar to, close enough to, but isn't exactly the same as. So as you go through the lines, because we're going to run the scene, as you go through the lines, let his face pop into your mind occasionally, and let that drive whatever changes in the scene happen. All right, you ready to run it? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to places for the start of the scene. All right, we present to you a developed Antigone.
You with your head hung down to the earth. Do you admit to this, or do you deny it?
I say that I did it, and I do not deny it.
Now, girl, speak to the point. Were you aware of my decree?
I knew it. Why wouldn't I have known it? It was well known to all.
And yet you dared to disobey this law.
Yes! For Zeus did not make this decree, and Dike, god of justice, did not ordain such a law for mortal men. I don't think your decrees were strong enough to outweigh the firm and unwritten laws of the gods. For they live not today or yesterday, but for all time. And no one knows how long ago they were revealed. I was not about to pay the gods' price for fear of one man's arrogance. I knew very well that I would die one day. How could I not? Even if you had not made your decree, it would be so. But if I die before my time, I count it as a gain. When someone lives among as many evils as I do, how could they not live better in death? It won't be painful at all for me to meet this fate. But if I had allowed the son of my own mother to die and remain unburied, that would have tortured me. But this is nothing. Am I the fool? Or is it the fool who accuses me of folly?
This girl full well knew how to commit a crime. And yet she has transgressed the law that I established. But she's committed a second outrage by being proud of what she's done and laughing with self-congratulation. Now either I'm no man or she's become one, if she's to win such a victory without any retribution. I don't care that she's my sister's child. And even if she were closer to me than my wife or my son, she and her sister will never avoid this horrible fate. I think her sister holds an equal share of the blame for plotting this burial. Go! Summon her! For I see her now raving about in there like she's lost her mind. When someone's concocting a villainous scheme, their mind will often betray their guilt before the act is done. I hate it too when a criminal who's been caught tries to glorify their crime.
What more do you want from me than my own death?
Once I have that, I'll have everything.
Why do you delay? Nothing you say pleases me, and I hope it never does. And nothing I do pleases you. What greater glory could I have gained than placing my own brother in his grave? You could tell that everyone here is happy to hear this if fear did not shut their mouths. But tyranny has many blessings. In particular, it can do and say whatever it wants.
You're the only one in Thebes who sees things this way.
They all see it, but they hold their tongues for you.
Wouldn't you be ashamed if they disagreed with you?
There's no shame in respecting one's own flesh and blood.
Didn't he die fighting his own flesh and blood?
A brother from the same mother and same father. Yes.
Then how can you heap praise on someone so godless?
The dead man would not agree with that.
If you honor him with equal fervor, you disgrace Antigone.
It was his brother and not some slaves that perished.
One ravaged this land. The other died defending it.
Nevertheless, Hades demands these rights.
But this man, good for nothing but evil, wants equal honor.
Who knows what the gods consider holy?
Your enemy's never your friend, even when he's dead.
I was born to join in love, not in hate.
Why don't you love them when you're down there yourself? If you must. Love them. As long as I live, no woman shall rule me.
See. Let's give them a round of applause. Take a bow, both of you. Take a bow, take a bow. Hello there. Thank you so much for watching Director's Cut. I hope you enjoyed it. And if this glimpse into the directing process sparked something for you, whether you're a theater maker, educator, or just someone who loves live performance, there's so much more where this came from, because this isn't just a show, it's part of a much bigger movement that is rethinking what it means to direct theater and how we train, support, and value directors, especially in schools and community theaters, but throughout the industry. You can explore a growing library of free resources at deconstructingdirecting.com, designed especially for directors in those upstream spaces like schools and community theaters, both for themselves and to use as part of their directing curriculum. 100% free. And if you're part of a theater, school, or university that wants to rethink how you train directors, I also offer consulting, custom workshops, and can bring Director's Cut to you, performed with your actors for your audiences. We can package that with workshops on directing, acting, or producing, whatever fits your needs. And if you believe in this kind of work and want to help keep it going, consider supporting Deconstructing Directing on Patreon. Even a few bucks a month makes a real difference. Links to everything I just mentioned are below in the description. Thank you again for being here. I want to transform our field for the better, but I can't do it alone. So until we see each other again, I challenge us all to be recklessly kind.